Hi, this is Lindsay and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I would love to have you subscribe and become a part of my YouTube family. The sewing journal saga continues. I had another sewing journal to make, and so I thought I would go ahead and do it now while all my sewing stuff was out. And I have a couple more. I might just go ahead and get them out of the way because it'll take me a lot less time to make them now while all of the ephemera and fabric pieces and everything are everywhere. So I love showing you guys how the same theme, same price point, same number of pages, same size can look different. So my last video was also a sewing journal. It looked very different from this one. And I love how this came out. This is more pinks. And as I told you in the last video, every time I get a sewing journal order, I like to add something to my digital collection, sewing themed. So this journal is no exception. This video is sponsored by TLC Creates Vintage. Paulette sent me her sewing kit, and I used part of it throughout here. It is a massive kit. I did not even use all of it because it was too much to use even in this size journal. So I have lots extra. So here is a piece of ephemera from her kit on the front, and it's really neat because this is a vintage ad and I have the same one in my ephemera kit, so I think that's really cool. Backed with some fabric. This is paper from a paper pad called Close Knit. We have some buttons, stitching. It's a beautiful journal here. Let's get right inside. The little tuck spot here in the front opens up for journaling. There's a little bit of stenciling, and then I put some stickers that says "So Fun." So here's some of the pages from her kit. And here's a vintage button that Barbara Dew sent me that's hanging off of that. Again, I'm using my sewing words and phrases. This says, "I love you so much." I backed her kit with Seneca Pond Crafts, the coffee dyed papers, because those are some of my favorite coffee dyed papers. I love backing my journals with those. So again, all of these printables, the sewing ones, all of these pages, they're all TLC Creates Vintage. So I will have that link below. And then I got this in some Happy Mail I showed in the last couple videos, and I just added some of that measuring tape there. Keep calm and sew on. And then what I really liked about Paulette's kit was you could actually cut the individual pages out and they looked really vintage. And they're backed with paper so you can journal from Seneca Pond, and then you can journal here. So definitely a writing type journal. And then little pieces of ephemera from my Stitch in Time kit as well. Like this one. This is from Paulette's kit, and here's some fabric. A stitch in time saves 9. That's one of my phrases. And then I made a little pocket with some of my ephemera from my kit tucked in there. Here's a pocket with a page from Paulette's kit that I just slipped in here, and then a piece from a vintage book on like quilting and patchwork and stuff like that. This is one of Paulette's pieces of ephemera backed with Seneca Pond. Again, Paulette. Here's another button hanging, and another one of Paulette's pieces of ephemera I glued down on the page. Sewing Mends the Soul. That's cut out from one of my ephemera pieces. This is Paulette's too, and again, I really like it backed because you can journal on it like it's a journal card. This is from my kit. Some really pretty fabric stitched on here. And then I want to show you something I'm adding to my shop. I try to keep adding new things. I like adding sewing themed things as well. Here's a Graphic 45 stamp, but these are paper buttons. They're flat buttons. They're die cut buttons. They don't add bulk, so for writing it's really nice. So this is how it comes packaged in my shop. There'll be a little pouch, a little fabric pouch with one of the buttons and some thread on the front, and then the top is just straight stitch. So you take a piece, you take some scissors, and you just cut the top open like that, and there are 20 die cut buttons inside, and they're different patterns and shapes. They'll vary. These ones are like whites and creams and pinks, but they'll vary, and they're wonderful for putting on your page. The holes are big enough that you can actually sew through them and put them on your page. So I thought these would be a great addition to any journal, but specifically vintage and sewing journals. But I think buttons are cute for any journal, and especially if you're planning on writing, you're going to want a flatter button. So, and then the pouch is super cute to add in a journal. Just glue it on a journal, and then you could tuck a little piece of ephemera or something in that as well. So again, I love reusable packaging. So The link for that will be below if you're interested in adding that to one of your orders. It's super adorable. Okay, so let's move on. Here's one of my ephemera pieces that I made a tuck spot, and then here's some cut apart tags that I put in there. One of her pages that I just clipped in here for more writing space. One of my pieces of ephemera. It's The Dress You Wear and How to Make It, little vintage book page. Mending, here's another ruffle. It says So Blessed. And then I had to add one of these dividers from the 1960s again because I loved it in the other journal. This one is on finishing details. The dress is not completed until the last stitch is taken. And so this is great for kind of a bookmark for like wherever you are. And so I just put it in there. There's a little vintage scissors clip art from my ephemera kit that I cut out. This is also from my kit. Here's another word and phrases. I cannot count my day complete till needle, thread, and fabric meet. Here is a big fabric tip-in. You can journal under, do some secret journaling there. From my kit, and then Sewing Men's Soul. Beautiful pages. I believe that it was Joanne who made this little embellishment cluster for me. I just added one of my pieces of ephemera and some stitching. And then I just add little words, little pieces of my ephemera, a little bit of washi tape. And there you have it for this adorable little journal. So I have more coming up that I can't wait to show you guys. And if any of you have a favorite sewing digital kit or clip art or something, then please let me know in the comments below so I can consider purchasing that for my next one and using it. Remember, today is the last day to get 40% off of a sewing journal. By the time this video is up, there will probably only be a few hours left, so you want to take advantage of that. I almost never have my journals at 40% off, so this is not common and it will not last long. So thank you. Have a lovely, lovely day.